Russian President Vladimir Putin just made the boldest move of the last 2 years. He replaced the Minister of Defense, Sergei Shoigu, with an old Soviet egghead economist from Gosplan, Andrei Belousov. And if you think that Russian army will become leaner, stronger, and effective under Belousov's command, you are wrong. In the past, I said, this Minister of Defense change is not good news for Russia, it's a good news for Ukraine. I don't think so that anymore. Instead, I think this is an ecstatic news for Ukraine. Howdy, howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin, welcome to Inside Russia. This is where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. You will not find any propaganda, BS or lies here, only truth, common sense, and logic. And some emotions too, because I am a human being after all. Before I start, please be informed that my live streams always consist of 3 parts. Main message about 30 minutes or so, then the live stream chat, where we discuss and share opinions, and we finish with prayer. You're welcome to watch any way and any part you like. Thank you. First, there's a question for you. In the Russian army, can a colonel son become a general? Anyone? Well, no. Colonel son cannot become a general in the Russian army because a general has his own son. This joke originated inside Russia's armed forces a long time ago. It's a joke, but just like any good joke, it has some meaning to it. A few days ago, on May 14th, I made a live stream explaining why Vladimir Putin did a big favor to Ukraine by replacing replacing Shoigu with Belousov. Today, I will tell you why now I think this isn't just good news, but ecstatic, fantastic news. The Minister of Defense is the second most powerful man in Russia. For a simple reason. He controls troops, tanks, and planes. He gives orders, for example, to go and invade Ukraine. And the armed forces go and invade Ukraine. And if he gives the order to go and invade the Kremlin, the troops and the tanks and the planes and the helicopters would most likely follow such order. They would go and invade the Kremlin because they aren't allowed to think. They all have given the military oath to follow orders. Not following orders, no matter what the orders are, it's a serious crime in Russia. So Shoigu has just lost all his power. He was relieved of his duties, of his, he was taken out of the chair of the Minister of Defense. But Andrei Belousov, an egghead economist, all of a sudden found himself in a position of real power in Russia. And a miraculous thing started happening right away. He started getting his butt kissed. Most Z people, reporters, Russian propaganda, government officials of lower caliber, whoever is under him, and pretty much everyone is under him now, they started kissing up to him. He was a nobody 10 days ago, and all of a sudden he became the brilliant economist, the man who can get things done, the excellent strategist, the man who will clean out the mess in the armed forces. I can go on, and I just read you some lines from reports, okay? Andrei Belousov certainly has some strengths. For example, he is a good economic scientist. He is excellent with math. He is really good with counting, for goodness sake. He was educated in the 70s and in the 80s. And he worked at Gosplan for almost 10 years. He is a genius at setting prices for everything in planned economy. That's what he did when he was young. He was growing up doing that. He was taught doing that. But he also has big weakness. he is a fan of planned economy. Obviously, he grew up in the planned economy. He excelled in it. His father was a big shot in the Gosplan. He favors and the state must control everything approach. That approach, by the way, destroyed the economy of the USSR in the 70s and in the 80s. Well, basically, I didn't have a chance. As it turns out, Andrei Belousov has been near Vladimir Putin since 2008, advising Vladimir Putin on economic policies. Do you know what Belousov is remembered for his 24 years of economic advising? Close to nothing. He always favored mega infrastructure projects financed by the state. Yes, there are plenty of projects like that. They are mostly created so some right people can steal taxpayers' money. But anyway, that's a different story. So most of those mega infrastructure projects that he initiated, conceived, created, they have either failed, they went unfinished, or they cost taxpayers so much money that those projects can hardly be called successes. By the way, do you know that, and this is something very new to me, I just recently learned it, and I'm absolutely amazed. Do you know that the year Belousov started helping Vladimir Putin with economic policies, back in 2008, Russian economy stopped growing. Counted in the US dollars, Russian economy is the same as it was in 2008, $1.7 trillion. So it's been stagnating for 16 years. Nice advising, Belousov. Something amazing. I looked at the numbers in Russian rubles, and of course, the economy was growing in rubles. But for one simple reason, Russian ruble was devalued every single year. Back in 2008, it cost 24.9 rubles for $1. And in 2024, it cost, $93 per, 93 rubles per. So this is insane, okay? 16 years, it did not grow. It has been stagnating. Well, anyway, this man is placed into the big chair of the Minister of Defense, given the real power. And the first thing that comes to mind, he is to turn the war economy around, to optimize costs, to make the military-industrial complex manufacture more at lower prices, right? Well, at least that's what it appeared to be. And Belousov spoke to the upper chamber of the parliament, presenting his vision for the most important job in Russia right after Vladimir Putin nominated him for the position. And he spoke as the Minister of Social Policies or the Minister of Transportation, at best as an economist. But he did not speak as the Minister of Defense. And in the last stream I already mentioned that, but I repeat that. He did not appear to be the Minister of Defense. And everyone said, wow, that's okay. The guy is placed to make sure that the Russian military-industrial complex becomes strong, produces more weapons, advanced weapons, perhaps armadas, finally, in 2046, they will start producing them, whatever. And that will change everything in the front lines. That will help Russia win. Well, whatever the win is, they are not telling that they're saying Russia's going to win. So Belousov is the man. He's placed by Putin strategically. That's a brilliant decision. And this is a brilliant economist, and he gets things done. He turns things around. Bada bang, bada boom. So now let's suppose he is really placed by Putin to make the war economy cheaper and better organized. let's suppose that he is to reorganize everything, okay? And that decision, by the way, tells that, it tells everyone in Russia, and then tells everyone in the world, whoever have their eyes open and has brains in their heads. That decision tells that economy is not only not doing well, but it's dying. It cannot go like this any longer. In February of 2023, Vladimir Putin was screaming at federal ministers to spend more and faster on the war. If there was enough money right now, he wouldn't be cutting costs and he wouldn't be doing what he's doing. He'd be just pumping more and more, okay? That's small details. So just to make sure that, you understand that this is the proof that the economic tsunami is right up here in Russia, okay? Boy, I'm just getting started. So let's suppose Belousov will be doing what he's ordered to do by Vladimir Putin. He will be cutting costs of military production. Where would he go? Let's just, pretend, okay? Imagine. How would he do that? How would he cut costs? How would he reorganize everything? The first thing he'd do is he would start with going to weapons factories and having serious talks with the heads of the factories, most likely with CEOs, their deputies, financial directors, the executives, the ones in charge. Then most likely he would be doing reviews of budgets that are going to the factories. He would be checking on how the factories are keeping up with plans, how they are keeping up with prices. Are they doing everything they can to keep the production low? So in other words, he would be doing reviews, okay? In Russia, it's called reviews, economic reviews. Then, based on those reviews, or straight, even not waiting until the reviews are done, he would be demanding price breakdowns, and as soon as he would get his hands on, he would send his minions, and that would be demanding the price cuts. He probably would start with big factories first, and then that produce big arms, the big spenders, the major ones. Most likely that produce, fighter jets, tanks, things like that, So then he would put everyone together and he would give everyone an ultimatum. Lower prices, produce more, produce faster. This is the war. This is the war economy. We're going to make this thing better, meaner, faster, leaner. You're working for the state now. Whatever it takes, And that's exactly what he has been placed to do, as experts are saying. And I think so too. I think that's more or less like it. Well, that's exactly what I would do if I was him. Now, friends, before I'm fired up today, before I jump to, there's a problem with that, okay? You can't really do that. But before I tell you, I would like to thank everyone for buying me coffees and tea at buymeacoffee.com. Every time someone buys me coffee, this is an indicator that a person liked what I did so much that he or she bought me coffee. He or she said thank you in a way of buying an English breakfast tea or a coffee. So to me, this is a sign, a feedback that I'm doing something very right and people like it. And this is inspiring. So thank you so very much to everyone who has bought me coffees. Thank you again. Now, Belousov most likely is not going to do what I just told you he's placed to do. Because there's a little insignificant detail here. Well, a significant detail, very significant detail. Have you heard of a small company called Rostech? This is one of Russia's largest corporations. Yes, by saying small companies, I'm being sarcastic. It's one of Russia's largest corporations, and it belongs to the government, to the state, to the taxpayers. But it's managed by Putin's old friend, Sergei Chemezov. As a matter of fact, Sergei and Vladimir, old friends, and they go back all the way to Eastern Germany. They worked together from 1983 to 1988 in East Germany at the KGB headquarters. They even lived in one tenement block next to each other, you know? Well, I think you understand. So, what does Rostech manufactures? You ask me. How about Su-31 fighter jets, MiG-29s, Il-transport planes, 2 Tupolev nuclear missile bombers, again, famous MiG fighter jets, most Russian tanks, including Armata that exists only on paper, but Rostech spent like, I don't know, 300 billion rubles to design and to build thousands and thousands of it. And it turns out that it exists only on paper. Well, but anyway, it produces all Russian tanks, trooper carriers, you know, armored vehicles, large trucks, Kalashnikov AK-47s, and other rifles that Russian army uses. It manufactures vaccines, machinery, equipment, energy equipment. And it's all Rostech. You name it, and it manufactures everything under the sun. According to Rostech director Chemezov, it currently supplies 80% of all armament to the army to the war in Ukraine. 80% of everything is supplied by Rostech. Moreover, Rostech currently employs 590,000 people. 590,000. Have it sink in. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of employees. 1/3 of all Russia's military spendings goes to Rostech. That's everything, including army upkeep, siloviki spendings, you know, etc. It is safe to say that Rostech is the military-industrial complex of Russia. All those companies are headed by one man, one of the most powerful men in Russia, Sergei Chemezov. Many of those companies will be visited by Andrei Belousov, perhaps if he's allowed, if he's given clearance, okay? At least he's supposed to visit them soon and try to pressure them into lowering prices so the government will pay less for the weapons to Sergei Chemezov. And this is the moment where I start laughing, okay? By the way, if there is a news about Andrei Belousov going to one of the factories or receiving cold reception or news like that, most likely the first people who will hear the news will be patrons of Inside Russia, because every single day I find carefully select 9 news that matter, that are important, and I comment them, I analyze them, and I make them available to patrons of Inside Russia with my commentaries and analysis. So if something happens in a military-industrial complex, you will learn about that first, of course, if you are a patron. I'm going to put the link down below. Sign up, and you'll get plenty of value for your buck. And it's not expensive, by the way. So, you know, let's all imagine Belousov trying to pressure Chemezov into lowering prices and paying less for the weapons. In other words, keeping, you know, having less money in Chemezov's pockets. Well, not so fast. Sergei Chemezov attacked first. Folks, I'm telling you, it is fun monitoring what's going on in Russia. It's like watching the Game of Thrones, only it's the real Game of Thrones, okay? It's actually unbelievable. Chemizov striked first in this political game. Chess, or whatever it's called. Hellish chess. Sergei Chemizov, for the first time on my memory, gave a large interview to a Russian business media called RBK. That's a big media. I read it daily. Well, he never does that. He's the man of the shadows. He's one of the gray cardinals. A smaller, but still. For goodness sake, back in 1983, he lived right next to Vladimir Putin in a small, tiny apartment in the KGB headquarters in Eastern Germany. Think about that. So, he doesn't give interviews, but this time he gave the interview. Moreover, this interview was highly promoted everywhere in Russia. It was pushed. And I'm pretty sure that Rostech paid lots of money to push that interview so every single Russian fella, citizen, whatever, can see that. Let me quote good fella Sergei Chemizov in this interview. A huge number of problems have accumulated in the economy of Rostech Defense Enterprises. The profitability of their production is now 2.28%, but it should be at least 5%, end quote. At the beginning of 2023, Chemizov said, now, when the state defense order, that's what the Russian Ministry of Defense orders from Rostech Enterprises, when the state defense order prevails, at best, we are working at zero, if not at loss. This is the requirement of the time. And now, answering the question of how long the state corporation can work without profit, the head of Rostech noted that he intends to talk on this topic with a new defense minister, Andrei Belousov. Profitability needs to be improved. Otherwise, we won't be able to last for a long time. I think the minister will hear us, because he's an economist. End quote. Again, this is a moment when I need to start laughing. Let me translate his interview in plain language. In other words, this interview is a preemptive strike on Belousov. The message is pretty clear and extremely loud. Don't even think about it, you little dirty man. Instead of lowering the prices for the state, we will raise them. Now, what are the chances of that happening? I think that the chances are huge. Because, again, I'm reminding you for the third time, that man lived right next to Vladimir Putin back in 1983. And they were buddies, perhaps best friends. They drank together, they went to sauna together, they did God knows what together, But that man is not only a friend, closest friend to Vladimir Putin, he is smart, he's KGB agent after all, and there's never a former KGB. There's not such a thing as a former KGB agent. And KGB selected the best and the smartest in the day. So, Denis Manturov and other politicians are, who are they? They are the team of Sergei Chemizov. Because he knows that one man is not a warrior in Putin's Russia. One man is only power when he's surrounded by a huge team, better by a private army. And that Rostech has. Okay? So, I'm going to be talking tomorrow about the war of power clans in Russia and who gained and who lost positions, power, influence, and so forth. So Sergei Chemizov clearly won because, look, Denis Manturov, who is that guy? Well, he's a pretty famous minister. Now, he used to be the Minister of Production, Industry, and Trade. I believe that's how it's called. And he's the guy who Vladimir Putin was screaming at. Produce more and produce faster. Give them more money, So now he's not a minister anymore. He's been promoted to the first deputy of prime minister of Russian Federation. And Denis Manturov was none other than former assistant of Sergei Chemezov at a previous job, long time ago. He took the chair of Andrei Belousov. They trade. Belousov became the Minister of Defense, and Manturov, first Deputy Prime Minister. Now, there's a new minister, Alikhanov, who is also a man that is sponsored by Chemezov. More, there is a powerhouse Russian senator. His name is Vladimir Gutenev, and he heads the Commission on the Industry and Trade in the Russian parliament. And that commission actually approves or disapproves all large state contracts, military contracts. Well, Vladimir is the former assistant to Sergei Chemezov at his previous job long time ago. So Chemezov has an incredible team that he has created, he has nurtured, he has surrounded him with. And imagine Belousov is up against that team. But Belousov, on the contrary, he has no team whatsoever. Okay? Now, remember, Belousov has no power over the military servicemen whatsoever as well. He's an economist, right? He's a scientist. He knows how to set prices. He used to work at Gosplan. He helped big boys to steal taxpayers' money from, it was creating the large projects that were, not so successful. He will not get even close to military decision-making. I think that both Putin and the military generals, they understand that. Because he's economist. He's as far from the military as Mars from Uranus, So he can't do anything with the military men, and not much he can do with Rostech. He has zilch real power, zilch. At this point, it looks like Vladimir Putin has placed Belousov without a team, between a rock and a hard place. And when the man is destroyed, and he's going to be hit by both sides, by the military saying, hey, and you are the Minister of Defense, you haven't even served in the army, you haven't even held a gun once, and go and, And then on the other side, there will be Chemezov and Chemezov's crew, the Motley crew, whatever. And they're going to be pressuring him, not just pressuring, destroying him by not letting him do anything financially. And then Putin is going to be above saying, hey, show me the results. It's been like 6 months, 1 year, whatever. So it looks like Putin has specifically placed Belousov absolutely defenseless, toothless, between a rock and a hard place. And when that man is destroyed, it'll be easy for Putin to blame everything on the Minister of Defense. Oh, look at this guy. He simply didn't manage. Well, why this is ecstatic news for Ukraine? The army, the generals are sensing that the strong man Shoigu, and Shoigu was a strong man after all, Shoigu became the Minister of Defense / Offense. His previous job had been the Minister of Emergency Situations, and that's like semi-army, okay? It's not a civilian institution, okay? So Shoigu had experience, and most importantly, he brought his team along with him from the Ministry of Emergency Situations. And then for years, he was placing his men, generals, strategically to the high positions of Ministry of Defense. Like, no one really cares about defense or offense of Russia. No one really cares about performing military stuff. Everyone cares about power, money, and influence. Okay, that's what it's all about. And the money is no exception. So Shoigu did a brilliant job. He assembled his own team. But then he's out of his chair, so he has zilch power. And the key people who controlled all the money, Ivanov and Kuznetsov, not only they are fired, they are imprisoned. They are under investigation by the KGB. They're placed in a special prison of the KGB, okay? And Ivanov's wife is missing. She was gone at the second Ivanov was arrested, but we know where he is. We don't know where she is, okay? We know that all relatives, all the family of Timur Ivanov has been affected. They froze everything, all the real estate, all the bank accounts, his kids, his parents, cousins, everything. He's under a microscope. That shows the army man. And Ivanov is not even the worst case. Kuznetsov is even worse. Kuznetsov was the man of Army's HR. He was in charge. General Kuznetsov was in charge of placing other generals into strategic positions. He was the holder of the state secrets of the highest level, and he's been arrested, placed into prison, and now he's charged with, we don't even know what. The rumors with bribe, but hey, Anyway, what does it show? Oh, and another thing is happening. The generals that were picked and placed by Shoigu into their positions in the army, they are resigning en masse. Most likely they are warned that if they don't resign, they will follow Ivanov and Kuznetsov. And guess what? It shows that generals who are not part of the Shoigu team, real generals, that the army right now is headless. There's no one leading them. Okay, Gerasimov, he's also most likely on the way out in a couple of months or so, but there's no one else. And Gerasimov, from what we understand, no one has seen him for a long time. Is he even alive? No one knows, okay? So the army is defenseless. The army is headless. The army, I don't even understand how they're performing their offensive right now, okay? Everyone understands that the key positions, the key money positions, the key money flows, Ivanov and Kuznetsov, that's where the money are concentrated. This is the grand prize for every general, grand prize for every politician in Russia, because the biggest spendings, they must go through certain people, okay? This is the fight. And imagine what's happening now. Everyone is trying to get ahead and grab those positions to gain enough power to become next Shoigu, because their current Minister of Defense is not the Minister of Defense. So army is in turmoil. Imagine the fight. Imagine the fight not just inside the army, but around the army. I guarantee you, folks, there will be more arrests. There will be more deaths. People will be flying out of windows, okay, pretending they're Superman, trying their abilities to fly. The generals will die of strange heart attacks. The generals will hang themselves, and things like that. The more of this stuff is coming. There will be a fight like we've never seen. And that fight is just one thing, for the money flows. And this is why I think that what's happening now is not strengthening the Russian army, only making it weaker. And that is ecstatic news for Ukraine. I don't really see any other scenario. Well, I guess time will tell soon, but please mark my words down. We're going to see what's going to be happening. And I will definitely keep you informed of everything. Please keep on coming back here every single evening. Inside Russia live stream every day. And before I turn the live stream chat on, I'd like you to do me a big favor. please comment. Let me know what you think. Agree, disagree, perhaps, you don't find this news important, perhaps you do. Let me know. Feedback is like gold. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please comment down below. Thank you. And now the live stream chat is on. I'm turning it on. Let me take a sip of this wonderful drink. I'm drinking water today, no tea. Please let me know what you think in the chat right now. And if you're watching when the chat is over, please let me know down below in the comments. And right now, I will try to answer as many questions as I can. Please put all your questions and comments if you want me to see them in caps, all caps, and put Inside Russia after that sign. So whatever you write appears highlighted in the orange box for me. Thank you so much. If you're here for the first time, please know that Inside Russia has the best moderation team in the world, great friends, and best moderators, hands down. Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potman, Dirk, and Amir Fazad. Thank you, friends, for coming. I see Lorna here, Bob, never fails. Lorna, thank you. Mami, thank you. You've been coming here for what? 1,000 times at least. Yeah, and thank you so much. And friends, I would like to thank everyone for supporting me. Hit 300,000 subscribers today. I'll probably make stream a little bit later in the week. I don't feel like celebrating much, but it's something to reflect on and something to remember old times and how I was getting there with you. And, so thank you. Thank you so much. And we jump to the, by the way, I would like to thank the usual suspects coming here. You are fantastic. You make my day. Every time I turn on the live stream chat, I see that explodes with people. It's like walking into a stadium and seeing that it's full of friends and everyone is happy, cheering, and this is mind-blowing. Thank you. So I'll jump right into the questions that are highlighted in orange or are like Baker's talk, howdy friend, or just Koshkin Dom, howdy friend, all in caps, much easier for me. Dirk, thank you so much. Thank you, friend. Jason Carney, unbelievable. We pray for you every single day, never fails. I hope you're completely well. I hope you have recovered, and it's great to see you back. The champion of super chatting and supporting Inside Russia, Jason Carney, usually does not leave a message. He is not leaving a message right now. But Jason, your message is heard and super appreciated. Thank you so much. It's actually huge support. Thank you. Dirk, again, thank you. Thanks for sending super chat. But let me tell you, friend, that's I'm the one who should be thanking you for coming back every single day. Frank, thank you so much for saying congratulations. Thank you for sending me things and songs and videos. Jason, again, thank you for sponsoring 10 people. Every Saturday, I stage a live stream chat, private live stream chat for patrons and sponsors of Inside Russia, and whoever is a sponsor can participate. And it's usually a private stream, and it's more like hanging out with friends. So Jason just gave an opportunity to 10 people to do that, and Jason, thank you from me and from 10 people, and please come and talk to us on Saturday. That'd be fantastic. And by the way, if you're a sponsor, patron, then you get access to 9 news every single day that I find myself important, and I find I comment. I do it along with my daughter Oля. She helps me out, and so if you're a sponsor, patron, then you have access to this news. And thank you so much. Check it out. Frank in Texas. Thank you, Frank. I think you've been with Inside Russia, used to be called Letters to King, when we had under 1,000 subscribers. So, Frank, thank you for sponsoring 10 people, and thank you for your great support and your great friendship. Thank you. Bob S., Jen Morin, howdy, fantastic to see you. Live, good to see you. Paula, EW74, Andrew Hodson from South Africa as usual, Faith Russert from Spain, Terry, good friend, thank you. I'm on the roll today, I don't know, I'm on fire. I feel so much energy, unlike other days. KJ1, howdy, A. Cohen, good to see you. From Finland and in heart with Ukraine, thank you, I know. Paula W., thank you so much. Agneta from Sweden, howdy. Kevin Baker, as usual, the usual suspect. Kaltenberg, late stage dictatorships tend toward rapid personnel changes. Yes, we've discussed it many times. I agree, and not only I agree, I talk about that because it's not the system, it's the personalities. When you run everything yourself, you have to make sure that people are loyal to you, that they don't conspire against you, and you have to rotate them constantly and all these things, Terry, thank you so much. Nova Scotia, Canada. Keith, welcome. I used to live right next to Nova Scotia in Maine for so many years. Eric, thank you so much from the Netherlands. It's fantastic to see. Thank you. Koshkin Dom again. Roy Cousins, Ron Klotzer from Mojave Desert. Sound is fine. Thank you, Lorna. How close manufacturing in Russia to collapse? Well, civil manufacturing has been collapsing. Military manufacturing, I don't know. I don't think it'll collapse because the state has many tools, many resources. For example, if they run out of money, they will make people work more mandatory for less pay, So it won't collapse. And I'm talking about military manufacture. Will it become less effective and more costly? Well, Chemizov just did say that. He said, well, we're going to raise prices for everything. That's Russian taxpayers are going to pay more. And for the economy, that's not good. 7 Ravens, thank you so much. Congratulations. I've been with you since the beginning. What a journey. How come you come here so rarely? Please come and speak in the live stream chats. Thank you. Please come to Saturday streams. If you have since the beginning, that'd be fantastic to talk to you. Thank you. I call not subscribers, but the viewers, the friends who have been for a long time since the beginning. I call them the pillars of Inside Russia community. Boy, that chat is flying today. Why are Sberbank and Gazprombank still on SWIFT? As far as I know, Sberbank is not on SWIFT. Gazprombank, big question. I have not followed it for some time. Everyone has been switched off SWIFT except for the bank who are considered vital for the Western economies. Some kind of payments go through that banks. For example, until recently, uranium was being sold to the USA and the payments were going through one of the banks. Very well could be Gazprom Bank, that's why. Bewayno Nelson, thank you for staying in Russia and I'm not in Russia, friend. I'm outside Russia. I'd be dead in Russia now. Unlike here at the Mexican, where the migrants are coming across Arizona border from every country in the world. So I'm staying outside Russia, but not in Mexico, not in the USA. 5,800 watching. Yeah, that's a lot. Thank you, friends. Another 700,000 go for gold play button. Thank you, Harvey. Harvey Sutcliffe, thank you. Well, guess what? I never received my silver button because YouTube says, you're Russian, you don't deserve one. Yeah, Michael keeps asking me, Daddy, when do we get the silver button? And I'm nothing to answer him. And now he starts telling me, well, at least will we get the gold button when we get it? I don't know, Michael. I possibly not. But hey, that's YouTube for you, you know. Again, Jason, thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Kaliskin from Chicago, howdy. Karen Verdon, many other companies in Russia manufacturing weapons for the war. Who is in charge? Russia from Hertfordshire. Okay. Karen, Hertfordshire, UK. Thank you so much for clearing up. Karen, Rostech is 80% of Russian weapon manufacturing. It receives one third of the entire defense budget of Russia, and that's not just manufacturing. That's the salaries, the army upkeep, everything. Okay. There are other companies as well, not as significant as Rostech. You know, Rostech has pretty much vacuum cleaned everything it could. They were just to give you an example, right? Competition, you all live in the West. You know what competition is the driver of everything, of good quality services, products, and so forth. So in the USSR, there was a great competition between plane manufacturing plants. In the USSR, yes, there was the communists understood that you need competition to have good planes. So the biggest competitors, Sukhoi and MiG. Okay, Mikoyan. Sukhoi, Su-29, Su-27, I think Su-39, MiG-29, MiG-31, those planes were competing, those factories, those engineering bureaus, they were competing against each other. And that was happening until 2021. Rostech owned Sukhoi Holding, and it simply bought MiG. Okay? This is the end of Russian fighter jets because there's no competition anymore. You can breathe easily. Russians will be flying MiG-31s or whatever, 29s, that stuff that was designed in the 70s and in the 80s, and that's it. Until they fall apart, until they become so obsolete that no one would fly planes anymore. So this is how Russia works now. Thank goodness. Roderick Klein, thank you so much for sponsoring 10 people. Thank you. Jacob N, all the way from Australia, and as usual, no message, but your message is right here. Thank you, friend. Pam from Canada, thank you so very much. Much appreciated. And Crusader Damien, also from Canada, with the best questions and statements and the best food for thought of Inside Russia. What is the reaction to the helicopter crash in Iran? I was gonna wait until Wednesday, but I'll give you a glimpse. Okay, military aid to Russia may be interrupted or just for less terrorists. Well, definitely for less terrorists. That just goes without saying. Now, Iran works just like Russia. They have their own propaganda. They were saying for the first 12 hours, the president is fine. He is in his cortege surrounded by his cars, and the cars are driving towards Tehran or whatever, you know. He's fine. And all of a sudden, they deleted the messages that he was fine, and they announced, oh, he died. He was never fine. Okay, that's just liars. Um, he was a man who architected the deal with Russians for the drones. This is definitely good for Ukraine, and this is not good for Russia because Iran is the same as Russia. This power grab in Iran, and right now, the second top guy, his vacancy is vacant again. His place is vacant, and oh boy, they'll be fighting for that. They're going to be concentrating on inside Iranian local political affairs. They don't care about Russia anymore, for at least for some time. I think that they can forget about Russian trade, weapons trade from Iran, Russia and Iran. We'll see, But for some time, Iran is descending into own power grab fight. Good. What can I say? Good. Brown 1AP, thank you so much. Howdy, friend. I'm glad you enjoyed. Bronwyn. I'm sorry. That's a very difficult name for me. Bronwyn, right? Am I pronouncing right? From Australia. Thank you. Thank you so much. But take a sip. The stream was good. I missed this morning. We'll watch later. Do to catch you live. Plenty of room in Australia if you want a stress-free life. Thank you so much. Well, I might be closer to Australia than you think. Thank you. Thank you. Thing is, Australia is not my home. That's unfortunately. How's your family coping with living abroad like in exile? Stefano, we're happy. We wake up happy every morning that we're together and we're not in Russia. That alone makes us incredibly happy. So, coping, that is everything compared to other quite a few nuisances, quite a few disadvantages, quite a few problems, that we're together and we're not in Russia, that's just like makes us dance. Ron, thank you so much. Sending love to Mojave Desert, one of my most favorite places. Magical places. Hal Porter, howdy friend. Incredible amount of info, mostly about people I know little about. You kind of nailed it. This is what I try to give you, this kind of information. Lots of truthful info about things you know little about, because where would you get this stuff? Okay, big Russian media outlets, they talk about it, but they're just for Russian, in Russian language, like Deutsch and other ones. But, I mean, I add to that material my stuff, my analysis, my experience. I talk from the angle of my experience. And this is exactly what I try to do that. Important details you will not find anywhere, or at least you will have hard time finding, So thank you, friend. Sebastian Forestier, thank you so much. I recently learned about some Russian artists, creators, bands, and celebrities who denounce war. Could be an encouraging topic. Well, to us, it's not really a topic. To us, we are them, okay? We go and watch their concerts. They come here to Uzbekistan. We go and attend their exhibitions and so forth. We read them, we listen to them. So to us, it's not a topic, it's our life, okay? We are with them, we are one. Would it be interesting to you folks? I'm not sure, because you don't know those artists, you don't know those creators, bands, and so forth. So something to think about. Santi Pietro, are there already signs of discussions or fights between generals? I have not seen. I have not looked. Honestly, I have not looked deep inside. I have not seen anything on the surface, but it's just been a few days. I think everyone's been hit hard and everyone's trying to kind of get back up on their feet. Just give it a week, something like that, and we'll start seeing things. But I'll definitely let you know in the news. You are a sponsor of the channel, as I see that. Just check out daily news and keep on checking. UFKLS, thank you so much. Thank you. Stefan Dooling, I like this news update. Keep your selection paradigm. Nicely ranges from serious to hilarious and delivers valuable insights. Danke schon. Viele danke. Thank you so much. Scott Nesbitt, howdy. Phil Opson, good to see you. Julian, strikes me that Putin has likely been micromanaging the army for quite some time. I spoke about it previously. I said that Stalin did that in World War II, and I think Putin is doing that too now. Sandra, thank you so much. Thank you. PJ, my question is, what do you think about Shoigu is still on his old position? He's not on his old position, no, friend. He's out. He's taken all the power. He's basically been on in the trash bin. But Putin put a strategic move to let the world believe that the Russian army is now. Oh, no. I see your question. No. Impossible. Shoigu is not a military man. Shoigu is not a brilliant strategist. He barely can. He doesn't know crap about army. Okay. And if he was such brilliant strategist, that he'd be a great danger to Vladimir Putin. Lorraine Prasnowski, thank you very much for coming. Thank you great to see you. Thanks for supporting. Thank you. The pillar of the pillars of Inside Russia. How long you've been a member of Inside Russia for? I don't know, 20, 40 months, something like that. Fantastic to see you. Elsha, 21 hour in the Netherlands. Start of the stream is perfect. I'm so glad. Well, Elsha, thanks for coming. Kareno, fantastic to see you and thanks for congratulating. Druzila, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now let me see if I missed any messages from anyone. Amy, yes, he does know about armchairs. That's funny. Andreas Benz, 2 weeks ago, there was a meeting in a Baltic country. Russians talk about Russia without Putin. Where was these people? The problem with those people, they cannot agree on anything. They fight. They get together and they fight. The biggest meeting was in Berlin a few months ago. I don't want to talk about it. I wish there was someone I could say, well, this is a person I'd like, a man or woman, whatever, I'd like to follow. I'd like to, support, and I'd like to do everything to promote. No such person. Hell, best wishes and prayers for all trying to put visas and residences to have new homes. Thank you so much. This is very important for me and for all of us. Just give me a second here. I'm gonna talk more about what you said. If you were with us here, if you stayed here for 2 years, okay, here in Tashkent, if you attended Breakfast Club every morning, you would see how the topics of what we talk about change over time. When we ran away, there was so much pain. There was so many emotions, negative emotions, so much this blood. We were bleeding inside, all of us, okay? Then that's all we could talk about. How we were running away, how we were trying to escape, hardships that we faced and we were facing at the time, and people were just asking for help. They were trying to help others, and it was just I get emotional when I remember about that. But then things started quite calming down in the spring of 2023. 6 months passed. Culture shock was over for most of us, at least. The weather was becoming nicer, and we kind of started getting used to our life in exile. We started getting settled in. We started assimilating in Uzbekistan bit by bit, step by step, day by day. And many of us have found new jobs, some found new careers. It started getting better. And we started talking about our families, our plans, our, things like that. So we were trying to exhale, so to speak. And that lasted summer of last year and pretty much throughout fall. And then we have started talking about where to move next. And that's what we talk about now most of the time. I have a team of experts on where to move, how to move. We have an expert for every country. Most likely there's a guy or a girl who knows someone who moved to your country and probably living next door to you. And then this is how it works. If someone comes to me and says, Konstantin, I'm looking for, let's say, to go to Australia. What can you recommend me? And I would ask, whereabouts in Australia? The Western Australia, Perth or Sydney? Well, I don't know. Can you tell me anything about it? And I probably would explain. And most likely what I would do is, well, not most likely, I do that. I'd say, okay, we have this guy. He last summer, he moved from Tashkent to Perth and he lives there. Now he found a job. He can help you out. He can answer questions. And this is his Telegram account. And I just I share the Telegram. And then they immediately start connecting with each other. And then I says, well, I'm thinking of moving to the Eastern Australia. I say, okay, there's a family that moved to Sydney. Someone comes says, what about Argentina? Okay, here's the contact of our member club, Tashkent Breakfast Club members who moved to Argentina in December of 2022. Now they've created their own small community. They're helping others who come, and this is what we're doing. I'm doing that. Heck, I've established a charity foundation in the USA to bring the smartest and the best and the brightest to the USA. Okay, so I'm even paying money for that. You know what I mean? So trust me, your prayers are much, much appreciated, and much. We're so grateful for them because that is really important for us now. Us Russians in exile, we go through stages. And I just told you 3 stages, okay? But there will be more. And the next stage, oh boy, when we find new homes, when we get settled, we haven't forgotten and we have not forgiven what has happened to us, what they did to us, how they chewed us up, betrayed us, and spat us out. And trust me, we are a force and we're waiting to be unleashed. You just give us a couple years, perhaps a year. After everyone gets settled, trust me, there are a lot of activists among us. Okay, it's just right now there's so much energies used up at other things. But there will be time. We will not forgive, and we will not forget. Friends, I'd like to finish up. Matt W. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps they could. Perhaps they could. We talk about Belarus a lot too, because we have Belarusians too. Jill, does your close proximity to Russia help you to obtain current news? No. I am far from Russia. I'm not close, and the far I am, the probably more safer I would feel. But I am in the same position. I was sitting in the kitchen. That was my table. Kitchen table was my office desk in Moscow because apartment was small, or in Rostov in southern Russia. Because I don't go on the street and look for things there. Well, I do, but that's like 10% of what I do, you know. I use my head, I use my means of communication. I have insights from everywhere in Russia. I don't have to be there to get it, you know. I have all the news I can handle, and that just gives me. I'm 100% sure I'd always do fact checking, and as good as I was sitting in the middle of Moscow, I'd be doing the same thing. James Gum, thank you so much for caring. Let me tell you, friend, I can't really tell. I don't share personal things here. Okay, if you think that I'm sitting here and doing nothing, then you're mistaken. I just don't talk about it. Okay, I know what Roman did. This one of the many possibilities, and thank you for bringing this to my attention. Much appreciated. Jason, thank you so much again. Thank you. Let me see if I missed anyone. And I would like again to thank you, Jason, Lorraine, Carano, Bronwyn, Crusader Damien, Pam, Alfred Larocque. Thank you. Legal to Russian gold and silver for U.S. gold and silver. Well, you can buy gold and silver in Russia, I believe. Well, at least when I lived there, you could, because I specifically stopped by. You can only buy it from a bank, certified bank, Sber, but you could. I'm not sure about now. Anyway, Alfred, thank you so much for coming and supporting. Jekyll, Roderick Klein, Seven Ravens, Frank in Texas, Jason Carney, Faith Russard. Thank you so much. Frank, Dirk, friends, fantastic to see everyone. And as usual, at the end of the stream, I invite everyone to pray along with me if you're religious. And if you're not, then pray anyway. Call it differently. Call it sending good vibes to people, good wishes, good energy to universe. To me, it's the same. So please join us. Let's do it. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Thank you for giving us roofs over our heads. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above the heads of our children safe and peaceful, and raise them in a way that when they grow up, they will not fight in any wars. They will show us example of how to live and how to make this world a better place. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy, because they are our world and our life. Dear Lord, please help Ukraine. Stop the bloodshed. Do anything that is that is needed to be done. That anything that is required to wake people who can make this decision up. Fill their hearts with love, mercy, empathy, forgiveness. Make their hearts softer. Remind them that they're still human beings and there's still love left in them. So they make this decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian, answer their prayers, and make their wishes come true. Please help my country. It needs help, a lot of help. Dear Lord, don't assemble your army of your strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, and send that army to earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked Russia, who we know by their faces, by their names. Please have angels help good Russians to run the country and make it peaceful, loving, and respecting. Dear Lord, please help everyone who is traveling right now. Send them safe travels. Help everyone who is seeking for asylum of any kind. Help those who are in trouble of any kind in high waters. Help single mothers who are struggling, raising their children, trying to make ends meet. Help those who are helping Ukrainians. Please help all those Ukrainians that are under assault, threat, risk, or attack of Russians in Ukraine. Please keep them safe. Dear Lord, please help all the sick, the addicted, the hungry, the homeless, the jobless, the depressed, the betrayed, the lonely, the ones who aren't feeling good about their lives and about themselves. Please help those who are crying right now and who are bleeding for any reason. Send your angels to help everyone in need. Surround them with your warmth and fill their hearts with love. So this everyone in need feels you right next to them. Feels that you are with them, helping in every step they take, not leaving them. Reveal yourself to them so they don't feel alone. They don't feel lonely, and they know that you are with them. Please help everyone in need. Thank you very much for so many people who are praying along with me right now. Thank you for this community. Thank you for so many people have joined over the years and watched and conversed here and commented and joked and laughed and, had a good time and came here no matter what. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone praying along with me or simply watching us pray. Please answer everyone's prayer here and make everyone's wish who is here come true. Thank you so very much. Dear Lord, I would like to ask for some people who need your help. They are Alex from Albuquerque, Mark Rutten, Jeffrey S. and his family, Ann Larson, and daughter Hannah. Gabing with Gary, Koshkin Dom, Paula W., Dennis, Ron Klotzer, John McLean, Linda Trombley, Terry Carter, Tom W., Lisa Kumrian, Jay Spike, Frank Caprio, Jim and Houston, Warren Spees, Marie Doran, Tim Mayers, Frank in Texas, Larry B., Dominic, Jason Carney. Please send good health and complete recovery and all the best. Sandra Dunn, Susie Mailer, Kyle E.'s wife, Electron's family, John, Bogey Burger and Sons, Kurt from Colorado, Wayne, Dave, Don, Scan's family members, and Boss Salmon, Julia Haney, Darla, George Ruberty, White Lightning, Liz Dumbrell, Yelena, Natalia, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Svetlana, Randolph, Grace, Lisa, Mr. Dean Spooner and his church, Karen, Leif, Stefan from Sweden, the Highwayman, David Porter, his family, and everyone from Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Alvin, Meta Spencer, Pamela J. And please help little girl Sarah. Thank you for sending her recovery, and she needs more. Please send more recovery, send strength to her family, and keep the smile on her mom's face at all time. Give enough reasons for her to smile. Thank you, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Friends, thank you. You are absolutely awesome and you rock. I am so grateful for you coming and giving me a chance to share what I think on what's currently happening in Russia. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your prayers and wishes. You're absolutely awesome and you rock. Tomorrow, please come back for another message and I'll try to make it as interesting as possible. And before I sign off, as usual, I invite everyone to say out loud along with me the following: Carthago delenda est.